Okay, my name is Laksmi Nrsimha, and I reside in Alachua, Florida. But when I hit college, like I said, everything up until that point was your fairly typical American youth story. Pre-law in college, I went to college as an English major, pre-law, with the idea of becoming a lawyer after I got my undergrad degree, which I did get in English literature. And but when I hit college, there was a kind of a slow but gradual kind of transformation of thought, so to speak, going from the perspective of maybe I'll do professional sports, maybe I'll be a lawyer, looking at life in that way, pretty much in the way that everyone tells you to look at life, get a good job and you'll be happy and situate yourself and get married and have kids and make money and acquisition and all that. But when I entered into college, there was this, as I said, there was this transformation. It gave me a lot of opportunity to be with people, but alone a lot. I have an older sister I'm close with, and she lost two of her sons. She had three sons. She lost two of them, one to cancer and the other one to a drug overdose. And I was very much involved in helping her in a seemingly helpless situation. Because, basically there are a lot of hard questions that come out of trauma like that. Why would God take a 9-year-old? Why would they suffer for a year and dwindle down to nothing and die? What has he done? There are a lot of hard, they weren't just kind of questions that could be answered with dogma, but they really had to be something behind, something of substance, something of personal experience and personal realization. So I think those traumatic points in her life and subsequently my life, because I was involved in trying to help her through it. She turned to me. So it was a real life experience in real time. And I felt at that time, there are many, many, many instances, but I see these as, what I'm relaying to you as profound moments in that whole spectrum of events. And I see that, I was able to give her some insight and help her through, not based on who I was or even, what I was saying, but more or less on an experience that I was having with my own spirituality, and how that vision, that spiritual view was helping me to make sense of all the madness in the world, the wars and the famines and the diseases and all that, based on things that I was studying and putting to test, myself. And then being in that real life experience with my sister, I knew that nothing I would say or do would relieve her suffering. I just knew it was just too much for her. It was an overload. So at that point, basically, she did come and spend time with me. I was, at that time, the first time when her 9-year-old passed away, I was the temple president in Puerto Rico. So I took her down there with me. She spent a couple of weeks with me, and we talked a lot about different subject matters, and it was really good. And then again, some years later, that was 1977, October of 77. And then I think it was around March of 99 or 2000. That's when her second son died of a drug overdose in California. And it was the same kind of experience, the same kind of questions and the support that had to come from a very real place and not from because she went to a priest and he gave her dogma and she just didn't relate to it at all. So, those are two such experiences I would think in my life. And like I said, there are more, but they stick out.
What did you, not that you can boil down months and months, but what in the teachings that you studied was most meaningful, you think, to her?
To her, I think the whole logic of the design, when we talk about the soul, the material body, karma, eternality, reincarnation, I think it was the whole logic of the design Krishna's manifestation, this material world. I think it just was so logical to her. Not that she needed logic. Logic was going to soothe the pain, but it just made sense, I think, to her. I think when she saw it broken down in that way, and I think innately she felt that he was a soul, her son. Because her son, actually, her 9-year-old in particular, who was very favorably inclined to what I was doing, even at the tender age of 9, when he was about to pass away, he was exhibiting some amazing things. Some amazing things were going on in his life in terms of his realizations. And I remember visiting him right before I went to India. This is when, about a few weeks before he passed away, I brought him a garland, beautiful garland from the deities. And I brought him a Back to Godhead magazine. And so those things he kept by him. But like in the latter days, he was saying things like, I feel so much love in my heart. I don't know how to express it. And he was also telling my mom, who was there, and my sister, he was patting them on the hand. And he said, don't worry about me. He said, I'll be all right. I'm already protected. And this was a 9-year-old boy. And it wasn't like, he was raised a spiritualist. He was basically coming from the same place that I was coming from as a young boy. But he obviously had realizations about his own mortality, at least the mortality of the body, that really transcended his age or what he was supposed to know. And things were going on within him, for what reason I don't know, that were quite remarkable. So, I do remember that.
So as you reflect on your life so far, do you feel like you're a different person than the person before you were a devotee and before you came to Krishna consciousness?
No, I don't. I really don't feel like I'm a different person. I just feel like I am the person that was always hiding in there. I felt I was not the real person, but more of kind of a person that was, doing things because they were supposed to be doing things, but all the while not feeling the kind of satisfaction. So I feel like, and I think to underscore this point, not that it's just a subjective thing, but my mom has often said that. My mom and my sister, they've often said that we really respect what you're doing because, you didn't change as a person. You became more aware as a person, maybe more sensitive as a person, but there were no behavioral changes, no radical behavior. You were always who you were, only with a different focus.